And what I want to do is that leads me up to, I want to talk about the feather, which is a symbol of Ma'at, okay? So that leads me to reading a little bit on the feather so that we can understand the significance of how to use these tools to understand when the spiritual world is trying to give us information. We get our information through, like I said, the elements, which is nature, see. So all of the animals, all of the elements, all of these things come together and connect with us so that we can get some spiritual enlightenment. This is how we understand these things. Okay. Page 91. Okay, it says here, feathers are symbols of the accomplishment of rising from the terrestrial world, of being free of the gravity of the mundane world. They are symbols of balance and of the wind. They are commonly used to symbolize all creator gods and goddesses, those who breathe life into humanity. When a feather comes into your possession, it can help give lift to some area of your life. It can be used to help insulate and protect you against elements within your life. The kind of feather and the bird from which it comes can help you to determine the specific element in your life from which it will help lift you and protect you against. For example, a dove is a bird that is often associated with peace. To the Hopi, it would lead them to sources of water. A dove feather can thus be used to protect your own sense of peace and help you find that which will quench your greatest thirst at the time you encounter the feather. See? I always tell everyone, when you walk upon a feather, pick it up. Okay? It does mean you've been practicing the principles of Ma'at, and you're about to be rewarded. But you have to receive the feather in order to receive the gift or the reward. So pick it up. You know, that is your gift. It says, you must first come to recognize how feathers are linked not only to birds, but to the forces and energies of the air. Many traditions have spoken of the varied expressions of nature. They have often described entire dimensions of life associated with the elements that are generally invisible to the human eye. These we know more commonly as members of the fairy realm. The fairies, elves, divas, and spirits that work with and around humans through specific elements. Folklore and mythologies are filled with tales of beings associated with the element of air. These beings range in size from the tiniest to the great storm divas that move the winds and bring changes in the weather. They often appear delicate, and those of the larger size may actually appear angelic. They are around when anything associated with the element of air is honored. Anyone who works with birds' totems will have contact with them. Fairies and spirits of the air often work through birds to assist humans in the initiation of air, the understanding of the workings and powers of the mind. Through birds, they help us in opening to wisdom and to everything discussed later on in chapter 6. Feathers are direct links to them. They call their forces into play from the softest sigh to the strongest gale. The spirits of the air are found. Wherever birds live or are found, these fairies are found as well. Many fairies and spirits of the air come to humans in the form of birds and other winged creatures. Through them, we can more easily connect with the archetypical energies of birds. Anyone who works with any element in nature has contact with the fairy realm of life, whether they are conscious of it or not. The more conscious of it they are, the more real it becomes. The easier it is to work with any creature in their realm, in this case, birds. It says, many spirit totems that are birds are simply spirits of the air, using the bird form to connect with humans and more directly. Through feathers, we can call forth birds or those fairy beings associated with the element of air. Through feathers, we can learn to make our wishes reality. They empower our thoughts and through them we can invoke nature to confirm this link for us. The confirmation process of a link with your bird totem or of an air spirit working through the bird is simple. Air makes possible the power of sound and the movement and activation of thought. When the connection with your bird totem is established or needs to be confirmed by you, simply perform these following 5 steps. Choose a day on which the air is perfectly still. Take any feather, go outside and sit under a tree. Okay? Number 2, allow yourself to relax and just breathe deeply. Number 3, then slowly raise the feather above your head with both hands and then lower it to just in front of your mouth. Number 4, now slowly and gently blow upon the feather. As you do, move it with your hand as it is being carried by your breath. And finally, number 5, to enhance the effect, whistle a soft childhood tune that you remember upon your feather. If you have a penny whistle or flute, tie the feather to it and play the tune. It says that in just a few minutes, the air spirits and archetypical forces linked to the feather will become active. The tree leaves will rustle. You will see some leaves or dust swirl upon the ground. You will feel a breeze begin to pick up. Bird activity around you will increase. This is a simple exercise, but it is one that helps awaken a realization of the force of air. It provides you a quick confirmation that feathers are wonderful tools to connect with those forces and those spiritual beings that work with them. Okay? And I just did a little experimentation before I came over here, and I took my feather and I blew on it because that's what they tell you to blow on it. And sure enough, when I went outside, I had birds, just a bunch of birds, you know, just lighting in front of my tree. I lost count of them, the birds that came and just were in my tree in my backyard. So, you know, test it. You got to understand that this is real, okay? And when we're talking about the air element, we're talking about the unseen force, okay? So prove it. Prove it for yourself, because once you do, you become more confident in your own inner power. The more confident you are, the more powerful you become, okay? Because we are moving into the Aquarian age, which is just the age of the knowing, okay? It's no longer enough to believe. That was the Piscean age, okay? Piscean is a water sign, which is emotions. It's ruled by the planet Neptune, which is about spirituality or deception, you see. So there has been some emotional manipulation of our emotions, you know, to deceive us. This is where we got the religion from, okay? Now we're moving into the Aquarian age, which is the air age, where we go inside, get in touch with our own spirit, uncover our own unique gifts in godhood, and that's what we bring to the table to make a whole. In other words, we are not trying to blend our energy. We're trying to combine our energy to make a whole. That's why one teacher or one leader is not going to work. We can use common tools, you see, but we all have our own godhood, and our own spirit is going to be the only guide for us in understanding, you know, what we bring to the table, okay? The unique path is totally unique for each one of us, okay? But we have to know that. Aquarian is the age of the knowing. So once you know, and I never talk about a person's sign without talking about their opposite sign, because you're only getting half of the picture, you see. Bring the other half and you have a whole. Two halves make a whole. So we've been programmed to be literalized, you see, so that we do not get the fullness. As above, so below. When we start looking at the fullness, we see that. We see the fullness of the concept. So if we're talking about the Aquarian age, which is right here, the opposite of Aquarius is Leo, okay? So Leo represents the creator, the ruler, you know, it's creativity, the ruler, all these things. So when we put the I know of Aquarius and combine it with the I know of the rulership of Leo, we're talking I know I am the creative ruler of the universe, okay? Understand? Put them together before you understand the fullness of the concept here. Otherwise, you're just using half of what you are trying to activate.